do you do that? Oh, God. I don't really know. That's not true. What have we learned in all this? What have I come to learn? I've come to learn that I value my peace. And 99% of the time, the world is asking me to trade in my peace for something immensely urgent and important. No. I really like my peace, way more than anything that I have been offered out here. And I can play from my peace. I can handle hardship from my peace. I can see people clearly from the clarity of my peace. Now, that doesn't mean that no one gets access to me ever under any circumstances, but rather you are invited to come enjoy my peace and we can discuss whatever you like and play from there. And guess what? I'm not drained all the time now. I'm actually participating out here how I would like to. I am capable of incredible engagement with energy, but I also really like being Uncle Paul. My nephew AJ took this one. You can keep all the relationships that enrich you, that make you proud of who you are. You don't have to take a wrecking ball to everything in your life. People are afraid of this information because they think it's asking them to become something that they aren't, to denounce everything about who they are, and that they'll lose themselves in this understanding. No. It's quite the opposite. I am here asking you to acknowledge that you've been giving yourself away all along to, and invite you back. Please, we need you. We need all of you. We need each other. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you see something you want to adjust, you don't shake the mirror until it shows you what you want to see. It is simply showing you the things you want to change. You got to make the change on your end. And don't any of you dare take my word for it tonight. Belief, not knowledge. And knowledge can only be gained through experience. So how do we engage? Let's start with frequency. When we're talking about frequency, what is that? In its simplest form, back to Uncle Paul. That is your emotions, mainly, is your frequency, energy, in motion. Those are your measure of your experience of anything. But setting your frequency, setting your emotional state, is like trying to listen to the radio while your child self keeps rolling the knobs to the other static channels. No one listens to the radio anymore. It's like spiritual internet. For your toddler mind won't stop typing shit into the search bar. And think about the internet. You are not just immediately thrown into every web page ever made all at once. You start from a home page, and from there, you need to know what you're looking for. Otherwise, you will be immediately overwhelmed. Yep. Let's get to know the toddler smacking the keyboard of our minds. Our minds work like a movie screen, but it's the most immersive 3D IMAX movie sensory overload experience you can imagine, as we can all tell from time to time. Things are constantly flying across the screen, and you could choose to follow any sense or character it instills in you that comes across the screen. You can follow that character through whatever strange, exciting, terrifying story it leads you through memories, thoughts of the future, simple daydreams, or any trigger from your senses. But if you simply let these things cross the screen of your mind without attaching to one, the screen will clear eventually. And that world will open up to you more fully, where you can create and engage with what's on the screen. Everything exists within you. I know this is unfathomable, but it does, because what you are seeking in this outside world are the things that will give you the internal experience you are looking for. But that already exists within you when you have control over your mind and emotions. You can find what you're seeking in the outside world within you because it already exists there. You're just trying to draw it to the surface by finding the things that you think will give it to you. How do we get better at this? Modulating this screen, running the programming, identity training. Here it is. He's starting a cult. I knew it. No, I know. Guys, that sounds like brainwashing, if ever I've heard it. But drop your weapon, and you will understand it is the polar opposite. Identity training is learning to observe your surroundings, your thoughts, your emotions, your desires, your fears, your ambitions, your experience, and not identify yourself with it. Identity training is a thought appears in your mind. Who is that thought appearing to? That simple question changes everything. The moment you acknowledge the thought, you are no longer inside of it, but you are the one who sees it. Examine the programming that's running in front of you, programming other people are operating on in their experience. Learn to examine what we're receiving from the outside world and choose how you want to actually be amidst that. As you do this, you'll sharpen your discernment of what is actually you, rather than what is simply demanding your awareness from the outside. This is learning full sovereignty and autonomy over self. I cannot imagine anything further from brainwashing than that. And the study ends when you understand energy integration and allow yourself to move and engage with it. First, you got to be aware of it. That's our emotions and our mind. How does all this work in our bodies? What does this thing do? When we allow the natural compression and tension structure of the body to balance, we are able to open up the channel of the caduceus, allowing the flow of our spinal fluid. When the channels are open, guess what your freaking lungs are? A pump. You can regulate the flow and this fluid with your own breath. Pumping cerebrospinal fluid up the column applies pressure to the pituitary gland, physically engaging it here with focused intention. But this focused energy needs to be grounded before it moves up. We're kind of inherently afraid of down, falling, deep water, spaces we can't see what's below us, hell! But our orientation is entirely dependent on the force we are pulled towards. We are pulled towards the center of Gaia. Our vessel is the living biological matter of Gaia herself. So it knows what to do with this energy that exists in our breath. All we need to do is utilize our instruments in proper tune and alignment, and that is easy to do. Literally, if we understand how energy flows. These wonderful, brilliant grounding pads we have, and this network of energy that we know runs through us, runs up our fronts, back, periphery, all of these nadis, these energy lines, these pathways. Understanding your energy network with those immaculate energy pads that we all have, allowing it to move through these
wonderful meridians, these forms.
Hey, it's me again. So, full disclosure, I just bobbled it the other night, and it was glorious. I'll have it added on as extra content to the DVD box set. But for now, let me bridge your understanding here. So, as we mentioned, if we understand how energy flows, we understand that grounding our energy network with these immaculate grounding pads that we all have, taking in the living energy that exists in our very breath, and allowing that energy to flow through these wonderful meridians that we all have woven into our form, you are able to connect to the energy and power of Gaia, and therefore, the creation network that she is inherently connected to and fueled by. And that is your foundation. And all that this is in our physical bodies, in our forms, is allowing the two hemispheres of your brain to work together, fueled by your breath. The CIA called it hemisync. Hemispheric synchronization, allowing the masculine and the feminine to work in unity and balance, and allowing that when you let the measure field clear, you allow these components of yourself to work together in balance physically, in mind, in heart. And then you are of one mind, your mind. And from that mind, you can use it as a hyper-focused lens for the fluctuating energetic frequency of your heart. Go nuts. But first, you have to learn to listen to your body, your mind, your heart, to the energy network around you. Now, to do something harder in this world is to give yourself over to it more fully, to try harder. But when the endeavor is to surrender to yourself, to try harder is not the solution. The solution is to allow yourself to give yourself over to it more freely, more fully, and to release further. Now, we live in a physical world, yes? So when you take motion, when you hurry up in this world, you are bringing your body and your being into more energetic alignment with this plane. So then, therefore, the reversal is how you gain energetic awareness and activity in higher energetic planes, in balanced stillness and awareness. So,
it is very easy for stones to find balance, to find rest. They just let their form rest in whatever orientation the force of nature chooses to settle them in. They will always move towards balance, and they will plow through any surface not suited to hold their gravity until they are returned to balance. Now, it doesn't have to be as destructive as all of that. But here is the key to as above, so below. As within, so without. Balance needs to emerge from the inner to the outer. Just as anything in this material world emerges from the inner worlds of our thoughts. The universe is mental, even the physical expression of it. Everything that exists in this material world first existed as a thought in someone's mind. So too does balance emanate forth. It all exists within you, and when you understand that, you can move with the intention to materialize in this world what you are seeking, often in ways that far exceed your expectations. If mastery over frequency is the goal, how do we get better at that? Focus. Focus. Energy flows where your attention goes. After all of this, if you don't know what your religious beliefs in, if you don't know what you worship, no. We all worship the things we give our focus to. Your focus is your worship, and we are worshiping all the time. So how do we use this focus? Where do we place our worship? In the divine, in love, in a love beyond a romantic love, a love that understands the power it holds over others and wields it with grace. Allow the illusions of this world to unfurl with dignity and respect. The divine is in the energy current that exists in all of it, in stillness, in balance. When we are not manipulating it with our thoughts, desires, and emotions, the freaking force, if you will. We've just been told there's nothing there. Don't bother even trying. You'll look silly. But back to work. No! Yoda was a mystic and a Jedi master. There, you happy? You got wizards and Jedis in all one day. Wow. The source exists in our own center. It's always accessible and more sustaining than anything you can find in this material world. It can cleanse your body and mind if you allow it to. Releasing and sensing the environment fully creates an interactive interface with the magnetic field of which your heart is the electrical current that can power massive movements of energy. What is purpose? Regardless of intention, our purpose is what we put our energy towards. We've been giving away our purpose for so long, and yet we're all so hungry to find it most of the time. You know when I found my purpose? When I stopped asking the outside world to assign it to me. We need to stop living a life of looking forward and backwards and understand that now, here, this is when you heal the past and build the future. This path everyone keeps talking about, right at our feet, the ever-present moment is the gateway to eternity. Your moment of power is always now. There's no past, and only the future possibility use that you have access through your choices. Every thought, word, and deed in our past has led us to who we are today. So it stands to logic that every thought, word, and deed you express in the present is leading you towards your future. Those thoughts, words, and deeds are your magic. Your authentic self is what you become the moment you stop trying to appear as something to an outside observer. Greatness is not an outcome. It is an act of being. Discipline is not a lack of freedom. It is a harmonious relationship with time. Supply is not something to be gained. It is something to be revealed. And your power is not dependent on other people's approval of it. The shark does not depend on the belief of ants to exist.